Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new live stream. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 unhealthiest foods on the planet. So, if you're struggling right now with low energy, stubborn belly fat, cravings, and just feeling sluggish all day, it is not your metabolism, it is not your age, and it is definitely not your bad genetics. It's the invisible damage from the foods you've been eating your entire life. The exact same foods that actually kept me fat and chubby as a kid growing up in the Netherlands, and the exact same foods that also keep my clients stuck. So, in today's video, I'm going to break down the top 10 unhealthiest foods on the planet, not just based on my own personal experience, but actually backed by science and real client transformations, and what to eat instead if you actually want to lose weight on easy mode. Because far too often, I see people incorporate these foods on their fat loss diet, on their weight loss diet, because they've been told that they can have everything in moderation. And of course, you can, but you're just putting it on hard mode. You're making it 10 times harder on yourself to actually lose the weight and keep it off if you keep on having these cravings. If you're constantly thinking about these top 10 foods that I'm about to discuss in today's video, you're just sabotaging yourself and you're just making it 10 times more difficult. So before we get into it, I've coached hundreds of busy men to drop 30 to 50 pounds using the Barbarian method, which is our online coaching program. I've competed in 3 bodybuilding shows, just competed this past weekend. I have ran 3 marathons, and I'm about to do my first ever high rocks coming up in 2 weeks. So I've done a bunch of the competitions. I've gone through many diets, many training programs. I've done all of it, all while staying lean year round and rebuild my entire life after growing up as the fat, chubby kid with zero confidence. And so my hope by the end of this video is that you know exactly what foods are destroying your fat loss, your energy, and your hormones. And then also the simple swaps that you can make to make weight loss automatic. So here's the game plan. We'll break down all the 10 foods, why they're so destructive, the science behind them, and then some real stories of clients who transformed their health by cutting these out. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into it. Starting with food number 1, sugary drinks, liquid calories. Growing up as a kid, I was addicted and I was pounding down sodas every single day after school, from Coca-Cola to Fanta. Those are like my top 2. And then Gatorades all throughout school. And I got told, especially the Gatorades, it wasn't actually a Gatorade. It was because I grew up in the Netherlands, they had like a different brand, but it literally tasted like orangey sweetness, and it was so good. And I was supposed to only have them during my soccer practice, but they were so good that I would literally have them like anytime during the day. I don't think I actually drank actual water as a kid growing up, especially around playing sports. I just drank, sugary drinks, sodas, or those Gatorades all the time because they tasted so good. But I didn't know it back then, but these liquids, like the liquid sugar, is one of the fastest ways to store body fat, because a Harvard study found that sugary drinks are directly linked to weight gain because they bypass your satiety hormones and spike insulin like crazy. Because just thinking about it, if you're consuming liquid calories, so calories that are in liquid form, don't worry, this is just black coffee, 0 calories. But if you were to pound down like a Coke or a Gatorade, it's already almost like pre-chewed for you, meaning that it doesn't have to go through your digestion tract. And when you chew food, when you physically have to chew food, you still make your body work a bit for it, right? It still burns calories digesting the food. But when it comes to liquid calories, those are literally pre-digested. You drink it and then boom, it goes straight into your system. It goes straight into your body, right? So your body requires literally no efforts, no work whatsoever to go straight into your body. And that is why it is so easy to overconsume on these liquid calories, because they don't fill you up. They're very easy to overconsume, and you can very easily in one sitting down hundreds, 200, up to 500 calories. I see far too often people wake up every single morning. Instead of having a regular black cup of coffee, they go to Starbucks, they stand in line for 10 minutes, and they grab the most sugariest, hyper palatable, highest calorie frappuccino with extra sugar, extra whipping cream on top with a drizzle of caramel to start their day. And then wonder why they're 20 pounds, 30 pounds overweight. You are literally starting your day with a milkshake, and it doesn't even fill you up. And then, of course, you grab a muffin next to that as well. Yet you wonder why you're overweight. So the easiest thing that anyone can start doing right away, which is actually what we had one of our clients, Thomas, do, is cut out soda and just simply swap it for a 0-calorie alternative. And my client Thomas, as a result, he actually lost 18 pounds in the first 6 weeks without changing anything else. There's actually been studies shown that people who don't even follow a diet, don't even exercise, lost a bunch of weight by simply swapping their sugary drinks for 0-calorie alternatives. And they lost a bunch of weight by simply doing that. And that goes to show you how many calories we are actually consuming by just drinking them, right? So if you are right now drinking a couple cans of Coke every single day, or a couple of bottles of Gatorade. We live in an amazing world right now where there are 0-calorie, sugar-free alternatives. You go to a gas station, instead of getting a Coke, grab a Diet Coke. Instead of grabbing a Red Bull, grab a White Monster. Instead of grabbing a full sugar Gatorade, grab Gatorade Zero. It is a very simple swap. It's literally the same price as well, so you're not making a huge dent in your wallet either. The taste, honestly, is the same. So it's like, why not? It's an absolute no-brainer. So if you want to put weight loss on easy mode, simply make this change right now. Swap your orange juice for an actual orange so you can actually eat it. So it makes you stay fuller for longer, and it's got the fiber. Moving on to food number 2, processed meats. So think of your hot dogs, your sausages, your deli meats, this stuff I lived on as a kid. Now, the WHO classifies processed meats, and this is actually shocking to me, but they classified processed meats as group 1 carcinogens, which means it's in the same category as smoking. They are loaded with nitrates, sodium, and saturated fats. And now one of my clients, Edgar, he came into our program with very, very high blood pressure, and his diet consisted of a lot of these foods, just processed meats. And his blood pressure dropped dramatically once we swapped those processed meats for just lean whole proteins like chicken breast, ground beef, steak, white fish. His energy, libido, and focus all went up. Now moving on to food number 3, deep fried foods. As a kid growing up, McDonald's fries were basically a food group to me. But as an adult, they crush your hormones because the trans fats in these fried foods increase inflammation and raise LDL, so the bad cholesterol. And Harvard Health calls them the worst fats for your health. So very simply, swap the fried foods for air fried foods. If you guys don't have an air fryer, I don't. I used to have one. I more than likely will probably get one in the near future. But air fryers are just one of the greatest kitchen inventions ever, because you can literally chop a potato, put it into the air fryer, put some 0-calorie spray on it, add your favorite seasonings, do it for like whatever, 10, 15 minutes, and they come out as crispy, as delicious as regular French fries for half of the calories. So swap your deep fried French fries that you get from Five Guys, from McDonald's, from Wendy's, wherever you get your French fries from, and just take the extra 5-10 minutes to buy a big bag of russet potatoes, chop it up, put some Spam, some oil on it, some 0-calorie spray, put it in the air fryer, add your favorite seasonings, dip it in some low-calorie ketchup, and then boom, there you go. You're going to be saving hundreds of calories by simply making that small little swap by just increasing a little bit of effort. Just a little bit of effort goes a really, really long way. And so my client, Anthony, he actually went from eating fast food 5 days a week because it was fast, it was convenient, to air fried meals. And he dropped 32 pounds, and he said it felt effortless because, like I said, it literally tastes the same. And I say this all the time, but your taste buds will adjust. Similarly to when you go from sugary drinks to 0-calorie drinks, if you go from fried foods to air fried foods, like your taste buds will adjust. Give yourself 2, 3, 4 weeks of doing this, and I guarantee you, you're going to start to crave those types of foods. We crave the foods we eat the most. So if you're always eating junk food, it's no surprise to me that you're always craving junk food. But if you're always eating healthy food, like myself, you're going to be weird like me and say, I crave fruits. Like after I did my bodybuilding show this past weekend, I see all these like weird, like all these people saying like, oh, I'm craving donuts. And they literally had like a batch of like brownies just sitting there, and had like dozens of donuts like backstage post show for people to like binge on after the show. And I'm like, not to like toot my own horn here, but like I was not craving that whatsoever. I literally just wanted to go back home. First thing I wanted to do was actually drink water because you're super dehydrated after stepping on stage. I wanted to take a shower because I had this weird spray tan on me. And then the first thing I wanted to eat was just a big bowl of fruit with some chicken on the side and avocado. Like, and I did that literally. And that was like one of the best meals I ever had. I literally just ate more of the foods that I typically ate. And that is because I ate those foods more often. And I wasn't watching all these like food porn videos on my TikTok of people doing these mukbangs of like eating Domino's pizza, dipping it in the ranch. And then you hear the ASMR, all this weird stuff that people watch. It's almost like you're literally watching porn. You're seeing someone else eat food and you're seeking pleasure out of that. Like that sounds really, really weird, right? And so once again, we crave the foods we eat the most. Moving on to food number 4, which is white bread, which basically is just, refined carbs with zero fiber. They literally take all the good part from whole wheat bread and strip all the good things away from it and condense it down into just refined carbs with zero fiber. It's almost like fruit juice and whole fruits. Fruit juice strips away all the fiber, all the vitamins, all the minerals into a juice form, which makes you overdrink it and consume a lot more calories, versus the whole fruit, which has all the fiber you need, all the minerals, and all the vitamins. Same thing with whole wheat bread versus white bread. They literally take the whole wheat bread, strip away all the fiber, all the good nutrients, and turn it into this white bread with zero nutrients. And so a 2014 study in the journal Food and Nutrition Research found that white bread spikes blood sugar and increases hunger within 45 minutes. So I'm not sure if you guys have experienced this before, but after you're done eating refined carbs, specifically like white bread, does that ever actually fill you up and satisfy you? Likely not, right? You're likely still going to be hungry unless you eat like the entire loaf, essentially, and you slap on a bunch of like peanut butter and jam or Nutella on it. Now, when I personally, because I used to eat this all the time as a kid growing up, I remember visiting my grandparents, and every single morning we'd have white bread with butter layered on top, a thick layer of butter, and a thick, super thick layer of Nutella. It was honestly my favorite breakfast ever, but it was just so good. It was so, so good. But when I made the switch, the whole food carbs, like potatoes, fruits, veggies, whole grains, oats, my energy no longer crashed midday, and it actually kept me full and satisfied. Like after eating a nice big bowl of oatmeal, with some berries on top, maybe a bit of like protein powder, that'll satisfy you. That'll definitely keep you full up until lunchtime. That'll move me on to food number 5, sugary cereal. Sugary cereal. Every single morning growing up, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops, you name it. I'd eat every single one of them. Sometimes I get fancy and sometimes I like combine both cereals into the same bowl. I used to do this specifically with the Crave cereal. So it's almost like those little marshmallowy, not marshmallowy, but like those pockets with the chocolate inside. And I'd combine that with the Reese cups. It was like chocolate, peanut buttery, overflowing goodness. And no one in their right mind should be starting their day with that. Now, unless you're a kid, if you're less than 8 years old, which you're probably not watching this video if you're less than 8 years old, but if you're a teenager at the very least, if you're an adult watching this and you start your day with Fruit Loops, if you start your day with a sugary bowl of cereal that you also feed your kids, which I definitely don't think you should be doing, but if you start your day like that, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. You are not a kid anymore. You are not an 8-year-old. Go eat an actual breakfast. Start your day with some steak and eggs. Or better yet, just do some intermittent fasting. Start your day with a black coffee, drink some water, electrolytes. You do not need to be breaking your fast with a high sugary bowl of cereal. Because studies have shown that cereals with high sugar and low fiber, which all these kids' cereals are, lead to overeating throughout the rest of the day. Because going back to the whole, like the white breads, like sugar cereals are the same thing. They're just refined. Like they don't fill you up whatsoever. You're done eating a sugary bowl of cereal. Guess what? You're probably going to want to eat another sugary bowl of cereal. And if not, if you have enough willpower to stomach through the next 1 or 2 hours, you're going to be hungry again. And then you grab a muffin or a donut or a frappe from McDonald's or Starbucks, right? And so one of my clients, David, he actually just swapped Again, very simple swaps that you can start doing right away. He swapped his sugary bowl of cereal for just some Greek yogurt and berries, which I would argue is a lot tastier, and you get the same sweet satisfaction, but this time from like actual nature's candy, which is fruits, berries, and the Greek yogurt with the added protein. His mid-morning cravings disappeared in 48 hours. Literally took 2 days. That is it. So swap your sugary bowl of cereal for a nice high satiety bowl of high protein Greek yogurts. Add some berries on top to add that natural sweetness, and that'll keep you so much fuller and you'll feel so much better about yourself. Moving on to food number 6, which is packaged snacks and chips. These foods are quite literally engineered to be addictive. Their term is hyperpalatable foods. They overstimulate dopamine and override natural hunger cues. So there's literally food scientists who sit in labs. They do study after study. They look at human behavior. They look at our eating habits, our eating patterns, and they try to figure out how we can make a food as tasty as possible. And yes, I've said a couple times before that, oh yeah, these food scientists are evil, like they're making you fat. And yes, they are making you fat, but at the end of the day, like they're running a business. And as a business, the entire goal is like cash flow, to have recurring customers, reoccurring customers. And how can I get recurring customers? By creating a product so good that you just want to keep on coming back for more, right? If you are addicted to a product, you're going to be a loyal customer. If you're addicted to eating like packaged snacks and chips, those Lay's potato chips or Chips Ahoy cookies, like you're going to be a really loyal customer, and they're going to love you for always buying their food, right? And so that is their job done. The more addictive they can make the food, the more likely you're going to keep them buying the food, right? So you're quite literally hooked. Moving on to food number 7, candies and sweets. You're basically injecting yourself with sugar at this point, because refined sugar increases inflammation, triggers cravings, and raises your risk of fatty liver disease. Now, when I cut sugar out during my bodybuilding prep, I did it way beyond this as well, but especially during my prep, like my cravings vanished after a couple of days. My cravings are not a discipline problem, but they are a dopamine problem. Because if you have things in moderation, if you have a candy bar here and there, if you have a piece of cookie here and there, like you're just kind of keeping the cravings alive, and they're never really going to fully diminish. Whereas when I went completely cold turkey and just completely got rid of all these foods altogether, it took me a couple of days, but my cravings just no longer were there, right? Going back to what I said earlier, study after study has shown that we crave the foods we eat the most. And so even if you have foods within moderation, you're still in moderation going to be craving those sugary foods. Whereas if you just completely get rid of them altogether, you're not going to be craving them anymore. Like I guarantee you, if you go on a whole food diet right now after you're done watching this, fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean sources of proteins, and healthy fats, those are your 5 foods. Like think of just single ingredient foods. If you just eat these foods for the next 2 to 4 weeks, I will guarantee you're not going to be craving chocolate bars. You're not going to be thinking about pizza because you don't eat them. It is crazy how your body works like that. But definitely worth giving it a shot if you're constantly thinking about junk food. Moving on to food number 8, which is fast food. Any type of fast food. They're high in calories, high in sodium, high in fat, and have zero nutrition. This is the closest thing that you can eat to quote unquote empty calories. There's no such thing as an empty calories, because all calories have protein, carbs, and fats in them. Some have slightly more fats, more carbs, more protein, depending on the food, but you're getting zero nutritional value from these foods. Basically just a bunch of fats and carbs, right? And these are like the combination of this with the added salts, the sugars, just makes it so much more addicting, right? And so a CDC report shows that fast food eaters consume on average 200 more calories per day, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you kind of do that day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that is pounds and pounds and pounds of just fat accumulated over time. So one of my clients, Jeff, he swapped fast food for quick whole food meals, and he lost 55 pounds while working with us this past year, and he actually kept it off. And he never stepped foot in the gym. He did all of his workouts from the comfort of his own home. He simply just changed his diet, and then boom, there you go, 55 pounds lost. There we go. Very easy, very simple. Now moving on to the last 2 foods. Number 9, margarine. It was marketed back in the day as a healthier alternative to butters and oils, but it's actually loaded with trans fats. And now trans fats increase your risk of heart disease by up to 34%. Now, one of my clients simply just swapped margarine for avocado and olive oil, just the healthier fats, and his cholesterol actually improved within 6 weeks, which is phenomenal. And now the last food here is frozen meals. Now, are they convenient? Yes. But are they healthy? Absolutely not. A study in nutrients found that frozen meals contained up to 70% of the daily sodium limit in just one small little serving. If you guys actually look on the back of a package of these frozen meals, look at the sodium intake. It's up, like, it's literally grams of salt in one of those tiny little meals. And if you have a couple of those, one for breakfast, one for lunch, one for dinner, you're going to be eating like I don't even know, like a bunch of grams of just salt, a bunch of salt. And if you're already not, like, if you're already sedentary and you're not active, like, that's not going to be good for your blood pressure, your health markers, and of course, we haven't even spoken about the calories, but yeah, most of these tend to be very high in calories as well, which that'll make you gain weight too. So yeah, that's the top 10 unhealthiest foods on the planet based on science, and then also based on my personal experience, and then also based on working with the past 100 clients that I've helped lose 30 to 50 pounds. And so to recap, why these foods destroy your body: they spike insulin, they trigger food cravings, they wreck your hormones, they offer zero nutrients, they increase your inflammation, and they keep you stuck in the fat loss hamster wheel forever. Now, these foods aren't quote unquote bad because you can never eat them. They're bad because they make staying lean 10 times harder than it has to be. Like I said at the start of this video, you're just putting your fat loss journey on hard mode by incorporating these foods into your diet because of all the reasons that I just listed. You're just going to be hungrier. You're not going to be satisfied. You're going to be having more cravings, and you're just making it so much more harder on yourself. So if you want the exact nutrition blueprints my clients use to drop 30 to 50 pounds without cutting out carbs or sacrificing their favorite foods or doing hours of cardio on that stupid treadmill, you can go ahead and join my free fat loss group. The link will be in the description down below. Or if you want to accelerate your goals and get there a whole lot sooner, what you can go ahead and do is schedule a free consultation call with me, where we'll essentially go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose, how much muscle you're trying to gain. We'll look at your current struggles. We'll see exactly what's holding you back right now. And then lastly, we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, the link will be in the description down below. I'll see you all soon. Peace.